We're back with my new favorite series, part 3 of how much money zero waste swaps can save you over time. And the best part is this is just 10 swaps. There are 10 more swaps in part 1 and part 2 for 30 total swaps, and they will save you thousands of dollars every single year. I made this video because I get so many comments like these saying, yeah, but zero waste living is so expensive, these swaps cost so much, blah 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 blah. And yes, it does seem like these swaps cost a lot of money up front, but the beauty of these swaps is they last for years and years, and they are designed to help you stop spending money on single-use products, therefore saving you money. But yes, that being said, a lot of these swaps are expensive, so I highly encourage you to check out this video where I talk about zero waste swaps and their free alternatives, and I will leave my full zero waste on a budget playlist down below for 350 ways that you can live zero waste totally for free. Hello everyone, it's Emma and welcome back to my channel where I do love to talk about all things zero waste, specifically free, easy, and fun ways to live zero waste. That has been my mission since day one, is to show you that zero waste is accessible, it's easy, it's free, and it's fun, and you can live zero waste exactly how you are. You actually don't have to buy any of these swaps. You can simply turn off the lights and care about the environment, and you are therefore zero waste. First up today is scrap broth. And the best part about this is you can do this with vegetables if you are vegan or vegetarian, or you can use animal bones to do this as well if you eat meat. This is a great way to use all of those scraps before you compost them, and you get free broth out of it. So here's how you make it. I like to collect my veggie scraps in a bag and freeze it until I'm ready to use. I like to use a full gallon bag of frozen veggie scraps. Some veggies you might want in here, some veggies you might not. I personally don't use things like cucumber, cilantro, stuff that has a really strong flavor unless you want that flavor. My personal favorites though are onion, garlic, carrot, potato, tomato, things that are pretty mild, neutral, and will go with any sort of soup that you're trying to make. Once you have enough, you don't even have to thaw it. You can put them frozen into a stock pot, use something big, and then I just fill mine until it's all covered with water. I don't even measure. Here you can also add any seasonings if you want to add oregano, basil, a bay leaf, salt, pepper, whatever you prefer here. You're going to bring it to a boil, let it simmer. I let it simmer for around 30 minutes, and then I turn it off and let it cool completely. I let it steep like a tea. Then you're going to want to strain the broth and then put it in some sort of container that you can freeze. Unless you plan on making a bunch of soup right away, this stuff freezes really well, and it probably will make more than you can use immediately. You could also pressure can it if you're into that, but freezing is a lot more accessible. Now, I haven't done this in a long time because we live in here. We don't have any extra space. When I did do this in Japan and in Las Vegas, I would save, actually let me go get one. These are quart sized. They are wide mouth. They freeze so well because they're plastic. You can freeze glass, but you do risk it shattering. This is a little more safe. Don't fill it all the way to the top. Fill it here to about the rim, so that way it does have room to expand when it freezes, and that will hopefully help you prevent cracking. But how much money will this save you? Let's just say, for easy math, you use 1 carton of broth per week. Each carton runs about $2 to $8 depending on the brand. So let's just call it an average of $5 per carton at 52 cartons per year. That would run you $260 per year just on broth. Now, again, this is probably the high end of the estimate. So even if you just use 1 carton per month, that's still $60 per year. And since this broth is pretty much free to make, you're saving $60 to $260 per year. Next is reusable diapers. And if you want more ways to live zero waste with children, you can check out this video. I had help from my eco mom friends because I do not have children myself. I use this chart here from Healthline to determine how many diapers you need per age. So yes, you will need to buy several sizes of the reusable diapers. Depending on the brand, some of them have adjustable sizes. So let's calculate an older range. Older babies will need 5 diapers a day on the low end, and newborns will need $12 per day on the high end. 5 diapers a day will cost about 19 cents per diaper from Target, which is about $1 per day. A more expensive option will run about 38 cents per diaper from Target, which is nearly $2 per day. Now, children are going to be in diapers for different amounts of time. If your child is in diapers for a long time, you're going to save a lot of money here, but just for the sake of math, easy math, let's just say you're diapering for 1 year, which is very low estimate. So depending on which brand you choose, for that amount of diapers for just 1 year would cost you $730 to $1,460 per year for 12 diapers a day. Now, moving on to reusables, Grovia recommends that you get 36 reusable diapers, and that should last you enough, to do the laundry and reuse them. That's for newborns. They recommend 24 for infants and 20 for toddlers. As I hinted at, a great thing that I saw with plenty of these brands for reusable diapers, a lot of them offer adjustable sizing, so that way that diaper will fit your newborn and your infant and your toddler. Hopefully. So on the low end for 20 diapers, I found this extremely cheap pack on Amazon, so I doubt they're actually eco or ethical, and they might not even, for $30 for a pack of 6 or $5 per reusable diaper. That's really cheap, which means that 20 diapers would cost $100 and pay itself off in the first year. A brand like Nora's Nursery, that's gonna run you $125 for 14 diapers, or $9 per diaper, which isn't actually that much more than Amazon for a better brand. Or this really expensive brand I found, Conga Care, $409 for 10 diapers, $40 a diaper. Who is buying these? So multiply that by the max use of 36 diapers needed for a total of $324 for Nora's, which is still significant savings, even for a cheap brand of disposables, or $1,400 for Conga Care, which is outrageous, but will still in fact save you money over the years using 12 diapers per day. So even when you're buying the most expensive reusable diaper, it will still save you money in future years. This is easily the biggest savings we've seen in this series, and this was a low estimate. Keep in mind, most children are on diapers for several years, and if you have multiple children, we're talking diapering for 5, 6, 7, up to 10 years, depending on how many children you have. The average brand of reusable diapers will save you $41 to $265 in the first year, or on the high end, it will save you $630 to $1,360 in the first year, and every year after that is pure savings of $365 to $1,460 per year. One of my favorite habits for living zero waste is mending. I love mending. I'm not very good at it, but I do love it because it prevents me from buying new socks, new pants, new bedding, new towels, new blankets. I mend everything. I do have to admit though, this one's going to be very hard to calculate, so I'm gonna do my best. Here's just a few things that I have mended this year. So we'll talk about the things that I've mended for free, therefore didn't have to buy something, and then I found something similar on the internet for what that might cost if I were to buy it brand new to replace it. So I mended a pair of jeans this year, and I thrifted them, but new is around $30. I mended a pair of sleep shorts, again thrifted, but new is $14 to $50 depending on the brand. I mended one pair of Darn Tough socks, which is $24 new. I mended our fitted sheet when I wrote this post, and now that I'm filming it, I did buy a new one because it kept ripping and kept ripping and kept ripping, and it was in terrible condition. But new is $90. So I didn't actually save that money, but we'll keep it in there for the fun. I mended one t-shirt, which I thrifted, so technically it's irreplaceable. It's my favorite t-shirt I have. I wear it all the time. But if I were to replace it, I would buy this one from Maddie Stitches, which is $70. Our comforter that I dyed this spring because it was so gross, it was white originally. A new comforter is $116 from the same brand that I have. Mended one Girlfriend Collective sweatshirt, which is $78 new. And I mended one pair of Girlfriend Collective sweatpants, which is $47 new. So while the number is going to be different depending on the person, how many items you're mending, are they new, are they thrifted, but just me in the first 9 months of the year, I have saved $505 from mending. I still have a small mending pile going, so I'll probably end up saving another $200 this year from mending. And most of my mending stuff I have acquired for free or I thrifted it. The only thing that I did buy new was the dye for the comforter, so I probably spent around $50 on that, so I profited about $450 this year from mending my items. But even if you do need to buy a sewing kit, even if you've never mended before and you need to buy the supplies, you can probably find all that you need for less than $20 and then still save hundreds throughout the year. One of my newest favorite ways to live zero waste is making sourdough. I haven't made it in like a month because we've been in the RV all summer, but we were living in Voyagers National Park. I had access to a public kitchen, so I baked sourdough in there. Our oven is far too small for the sourdough in here, so I'm missing homemade sourdough. It's so tasty, first off. I save so much plastic waste not having to buy bread in bags, and it is so cheap. But just how cheap? Let's find out. Let's say that your household is buying one loaf per week. Whether you're getting it at the grocery store or the farmer's market, it's probably around $5 on the low end and $10 on the high end from artisan bakers. That would cost you $260 to $520 a year just on sourdough. But if you make it at home, it's free, sort of. You still have to buy flour and salt, and that's truly all you need to make sourdough. You can buy equipment. You can buy a banneton, you can buy a bread whisk, you can buy a stand mixer, you can buy whatever. But you don't have to buy anything to make sourdough, and you can learn more about sourdough making for free in this video, where I use just a regular baking sheet, a casserole dish, my hands, a bowl that I already had, no special equipment. So here's the stuff that I buy to make sourdough, the few ingredients that you need. A 5-pound bag of flour, which costs $7 directly from my favorite brand themselves, King Arthur. And that will usually make me 4 to 5 loaves, depending on, how accurately I measure. But 4 to 5 loaves for $7, or one loaf costs you $7 going to a farmer's market. Otherwise, 4 to 5 loaves would cost me $20 to $50, depending where I got it, which means each bag of flour, I'm profiting $13 to $43. Again, I did say you have to use water and salt, but that's pennies, so I'm not going to count that. I don't have an exact measurement, but let's just say the water you're using, the salt, and the electricity that you're using to run your oven costs you an additional $10 per month, which is probably on the high end, or a total of $120 per year and all of those extra things. That means your total expenses for the year making it at home would be $240, which would save you $56 to $316 per year in making sourdough. Plus, this might also inspire you to make other stuff at home with the sourdough discard, such as tortillas, naan, so many other things that you can make for yourself at home to save money and to save waste. I think I just said that mending was my favorite habit to live zero waste, but actually it is air drying clothes. I love having a clothes clothesline. I love getting outside. I don't know. It's so therapeutic to go out there and hang up laundry and take it down. Perhaps it is because I've only done this in Las Vegas where the weather was perfect for air drying your clothes. But regardless, here's how much money it can save you. According to Energy Sage, it costs $5.53 per month to run a drying machine, or $66.41 per year. That is an average calculation. It will be different depending on where you live and what your energy rates are. So not a whole lot, and of course you do have to acquire the clothesline too. I've had many different styles in my life that I've gotten for less than $10 or even free. Our first drying rack that we had in Okinawa, I truly found it in the trash. It was free and it worked really, really well. This one I used at my mom's. I borrowed it from her. I didn't have to buy anything. So free again. The one in Vegas though, we did build from scratch. We being Dan, I didn't do any of it. I held it still while we poured the concrete. That one probably cost a bit of money, but it was fun to make. It was a good project for us to work together. And then the clothespins I bought for less than $5 secondhand in Vegas. But even if you buy a drying rack new, it's still only $10 to $40 depending on which brand you choose. They're so cheap to buy. So in your first year, you will save $16 to $41, and every year after that, you will save the full $66. Truly an underrated zero waste swap is a silicone baking mat. I love this thing. It not only prevents you from buying parchment paper, but also those spray oils. It is totally non-stick, totally reusable, and it's cutting 2 single-use things out of your life. Gridman is a really popular brand that I have found at local zero waste and refill stores, and they even have them at Target. They're easy to find and quite affordable for $11 for a pack of 2. This will theoretically last a lifetime. Theoretically, I have ruined 2 of them. One of them was totally my fault. Gosh, this was like in 2020. I cut a pizza on it and I pushed really, really hard and I sliced the mat wide open. And then the other one, this happened, I think last summer, just started bubbling all of a sudden. I don't know why, so I threw it away. I only have one right now, but since my oven is this big, I only need one. Anyway, how much does parchment paper cost? Grove sells a pretty expensive brand. It's $4.80 for 24 pieces, so only 24 uses. Fun fact though, you can reuse parchment paper. Underrated way to live zero waste. Reuse your parchment paper. I also found this big roll on Amazon for $16, which gets you 200 feet. And let's say your pan is 2 feet long, so that's 100 uses out of that roll from Amazon. But regardless, you get easily over 100 uses from your silicone baking mat. But let's say for easy math that you bake once per week. You'd still save $5 in your first year switching to a silicone baking mat from Amazon, or you just about break even if you bought the pack from Grove. Every year after that, you're saving the full $16. Not huge, but savings are savings. And of course, it's reducing waste. Maybe I'm weird, but I have never used paper napkins at home in my adult life. Honestly, rarely even used them at home in my childhood either. Is it actually that common? I'm not sure, but regardless, we're gonna review now reusable versus disposable napkins. If you do what I do and you opt for something you already have, like a reusable tissue, a towel, or a rag that you already have, you're spending zero money, and you're saving all of the money. According to Statista, 245.9 million Americans used paper napkins at home in 2023. That is far more than I thought. Perhaps maybe when people were reporting, they thought that paper towels equaled napkins. Maybe that was the confusion. But according to Business Insider, it's estimated that Americans in their household use 2,200 napkins per year. And I assume that that's just a breakdown of napkin sales. They take the total number of sales divided by the total number of Americans, and that's how they get that number. So on the low end, you can get 200 napkins for $3.60 or $39.60 per year in napkins for one person. On the high end, you might see something like 300 napkins for $18, or on the high end, you might see something like 300 napkins for $18 or $132 for 2,200 napkins. If you want to be fancy and buy fancy reusable napkins, those will cost you $15 to $25 per set, which isn't that bad. Or again, use what you already have. Use rags and towels you already have. So in your first year buying these fancy reusable napkins, you would save between $14.60 to $117. And every year after that, you would save $39.60 to $132 per year. This next one is a zero waste swap that I get asked about all the time. Is it worth it? And the answer is yes. That is a safety razor because the savings here are crazy. Now, you don't have to buy Leaf Shave. They are the big brand in the eco world. They are very expensive. You can just go to Walmart, Target, your local store, and get you a $10 safety razor that will get the job done for less cost. First, the wasteful counterpart, a disposable razor. According to Gillette themselves, you can use a disposable razor 3 to 10 times. Let's call it an even 1 razor per week to be generous, or 52 razors per year. That's a lot of waste, but how much money? The popular brand Venus sells packs of 3 for $7 or $2.33 per razor. Over the course of the year, it would cost you $123.33 for the low end. This is a cheap brand. That's still pretty cheap, but it's not the cheapest. The cheapest is from Bic, and you could get a pack of 10 from Bic for $3 or just 30 cents per razor. But because it's so cheap, Bic only suggests you use their razors 3 times, no more. Is it because they're so cheap, or is it because they want you to buy more razors? So for Bic, it's only around $31 per year. Pretty good. Now, what about Leaf? A new razor from Leaf will run you about $84 just for the razor itself, not the blades. But blades are $12 for a pack of 50. So that whole set will cost you around $96 up front. keep in mind, just like the disposables, these blades should last you 3 to 10 uses per blade, and it's significantly less waste, and Leaf has a recycling program. So those 50 blades will easily last you a year or more. So in your first year, it will cost you $96, but every year after that, you only have to buy the blades, only costing you $12 per year every year after. So even at full price, if you're buying Venus razors, you're still saving $25 in your first year. But if you opt for the cheap razors, you will be out $60 up front. But every year after that, spending only $12 will save you $19 to $109 every single year on razors. Next is makeup remover pads. Single-use makeup remover pads and makeup remover wipes are so wasteful and honestly can get really expensive. So Target brand will cost you $2.89 for 25 wipes or 12 cents per wipe. Assuming you need to use one per day, you'd spend around $42.20 per year. Though this is only cheap brand. A brand like Neutrogena might cost you $5.67 for 25 wipes, which is 23 cents per wipe or $83 a year. This is another swap that you can make for free. If you already have reusable tissues, you can use something like this to take your makeup off. I also have these right here that I made from an old pillowcase and a sewing machine, so it is a sewing method, but honestly, just like with reusable tissues, you can just cut something into a square, no sewing required, and use it over and over again for free. Use a material you already have. But you can't just take off makeup with a dry reusable tissue. You do need something to put on the tissue or on your face, and I like Zara & Co.'s makeup remover the best personally. It does run $24 per bottle, but a little goes a long way, and also, like me, I don't wear makeup every single day, so I don't use the remover every single day, which helps to conserve it. And if you do want to buy a new option of the makeup remover rounds, I love this option from the Zero Waste store. I've heard great things about them from my friends. So for buying those two things, it will cost you $44 per year. So for the very cheap option, you will be out $2 in your first year, not too bad. But the more expensive option, you will be saving $39 per year in your first year and every year after that. And every year after that, you will save between $42 and $83 per year. Lastly for today is a rechargeable lighter. I'm going to tell you up front, this one does not save you money. I thought it would, and I don't know why I thought it would, because matches are so cheap. Because at the end of the day, this is still a swap that is not expensive and will reduce a lot of waste if you are a big candle person. So first, comparing it to matches, yeah, I didn't realize they were dirt cheap. I found a pack of 900 matches on Amazon for $9. So unless you're using like 40 matches a day, this pack of matches will last you years. And they're only 1 cent per match. But let's also compare it to disposable lighters. Surely those cost a little bit more. That will cost you $14 for a pack of 4 or $3.50 per lighter. I thought, cool, we're on track to save some money. But disposable lighters last forever. So this pack should last you years and years and years as well. Anyway, moving on to the rechargeable reusable lighter. I really like this one from USB Lighter Company. It costs around $40 for one. Now that will last you in your entire life, but $40 could get you 4,000 matches or 11 disposable lighters. So the savings here don't really exist in terms of money, but it will save you a lot of waste. Anyway, what you have all been waiting for, the grand total. What do we have today? So scrap broth will save you $60 to $260 per year. Reusable diapers will save you $41 to $1,460 per year. Again, a generous estimate. We're talking probably thousands more. Mending will save you around $500 depending on how often you're mending. Sourdough will save you between $56 and $316 per year. Air drying clothing, $16 to $66 per year. A silicone baking mat, not much, but $5 to $16 per year is still something. Reusable napkins is between $14 and $132 per year. A safety razor is $60 to $109 per year. Reusable makeup remover pads is $39 to $83 per year. Rechargeable lighter, no significant savings. But that does bring our grand total today to $731 to $2,942 per year. Just these 10 or 9 swaps. Our first 10 swaps, though, saved us $1,400 to $2,300. Our second set of swaps saved us $900 to $2,900. So all 30 of these, or 29 of these swaps, will save you a grand total of $3,000 to $8,000 per year. Just 30 zero waste swaps. And there's more where that came from. There are endless amounts of zero waste swaps, so leave your most money-saving zero waste swaps down below for part 4. Again, don't forget to check out parts 1 and 2. And if you prefer not to buy zero waste swaps, I have a full zero waste on a budget playlist for you where I talk about zero waste totally for free. You don't have to buy anything. Editing me. One more resource for you if you want to learn about the importance of reusing and how much money you can save by reusing is Algalita. They are a nonprofit based out of Southern California, and they are the first nonprofit in the world to focus on plastic pollution, and they started in the early 90s. Their Instagram is tagged down below. They share tips all the time for how to reuse and how much money you can save by living zero waste. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you're enjoying this series as much as I am. Again, leave your ideas down below. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it all the way to the end. I really appreciate support on all of my content, but particularly this series. This takes a lot of research, a lot of scripting, and I know they get a little bit long, so thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. I talk about all sorts of things zero waste on a budget, as I've already discussed. I'll see you in the next video, but until then, remember that your small actions make a big difference in the long run. Bye, guys. what do you call it? What are you doing? Saved $105 from Mending. So that's $505, not $105, which runs you about $40. I said that Scottish and then stuttered. Also, apparently I'm Minnesotan. That sounded Minnesotan. I was talking to my mom yesterday and I said the word boat. I think you would say boat in normal American, but I said like boat. Yeah, that's how I say boat now. I can hear it now. I didn't notice. And I'm sure when I say things like notice, I didn't think I would. I was only there for 5 months.